and welcome back. It's been a while. It's November, just about to become December. So it's been nearly a year since I started the channel. I've been away for a couple of months, and that's because YouTube wasn't paying me. It was no good, and I was getting a lot of derogatory comments. It just wasn't worthwhile, really. It was taking a lot of my time. But I'm back with a new haircut and some more projects and a slightly different mindset, and I think that's kind of important. I started this channel a year ago pretty much to give me something to do while I reduced drinking, which was starting to impact my life fairly negatively. Not massive. There's no secret stories of life in the toilet. That wasn't the case. But I was bored in the evening and drinking most nights to sort of self-medicate feelings of boredom, basically, and frustration. And starting the channel successfully got me through that. I don't drink every night now. I do drink, but not every night. So that's one thing. Now, the other thing is I started the channel with a fairly healthy float from selling a van and selling a trailer. I got a few grand, and I got some bikes that I like doing, and I've done them and I've sold them, and I have steadily made a loss. That's okay. Remember what the channel was started for. I've had a lot of fun. I've made a lot of bikes, and I would say we don't know what value is around me in the workshop at the moment, but I can tell you it's far less than where it would be, let's say, a year ago. The motorcycle market at the moment in Western Australia, maybe globally, I don't know because I only live in one place, is absolutely on its arse. Nothing here is going to be for sale because I would have to give it away to move it. I'm not going to do that because I don't need to. So I'm going to continue making stuff. I'm going to hang on to some of this. Well, I'm going to hang on to all this stuff because, like I say, if you're thinking of buying a classic bike and you've got some money, now's the time to do it. But if you have got some money, you're very much in the minority at the moment. Most people haven't, which is presumably why those bikes are going. Back to money. The first 7-8 months of this channel netted me $110. Yes, which is possibly the worst money I've ever made. I reckon I'd have got more money begging outside a homeless shelter. I mean, wow. I know that you've all heard stories of guys driving Lamborghinis and girls driving Lamborghinis from all sorts of channels. That certainly isn't the case with this channel. Okay, I don't have a wide enough appeal. That's all right. That's all right. I'm doing this for me. Hopefully you'll enjoy watching it. Now, I'm going to get on with what's currently on the slab. So I'm going to take the camera off the tripod and walk you around, catch you up with what's been happening here. And just before I do, just going back to that money. So I've been paid $110 from YouTube, and I thought, right, that's it. Okay, look, no problem. I may as well leave the channel up, and it's still there. But I have noticed after taking that money, I came back the other day, and there's $13 in my account, and I haven't made any more videos. So I'm thinking, oh, okay. Look, it's only 13 bucks, but I haven't had to do anything for that $13. Nothing at all. Not lift a finger. So I've gone from working my backside off, editing, filming, doing the bikes that take me 10 times as long when I'm filming, usually one-handed, to show people, most of whom disagree with what I'm saying anyway, is just bad money. But, like I say, the money's still coming in after I finish the work. So, that's kind of nice because, look, your time is valuable, so is mine. So, it's nice to do that. I'm going to kind of work on now more about what to a certain extent me in the garage, because I think that doing individual, this is how you do this and this is how you do that episodes, they've kind of got a very narrow appeal. I'm hoping that finding out what I'm up to in the shed, bringing you along with me, is more interesting. It's putting myself out there, my personality out there a lot more, but that is potentially what most TV shows do anyway. I'm not comparing myself to Top Gear, but you don't actually tune in for the cars. You tune in to see what three old guys think about it. Hopefully you'll just enjoy spending some time here with me in the shed, and this is the closest you'll get to pulling up a chair and joining me here. So, without further ado, let me walk you around some of the bikes. Now, this is my beautiful little racer. I actually call it Lil Racer. If you're going on my Facebook thing, you'll see I just spell it as Lil' Racer, Lil Racer. Well, Lil Racer didn't start out as a little racer. It started off as a very mundane, very tatty commuter bike. These things are still used in Thailand and other places like that. And this is a Yamaha RS125. So that's Romeo Sierra 125. And that's the predecessor of the RXS in England that was quite popular. And it is let's see what oh, that's not so bad. This is a single cylinder motorcycle. Now, I built it as a test of my own skills to see what it'd be like, basically building a little race bike. And a single cylinder was nice and easy for doing the crank, because on a single cylinder you've got a bearing either side of the throw. So a seal either side and a bearing either side. I can do it here, no problem at all. Well, with a bit of skill obviously, but it's not impossible. Now with a twin cylinder, that's not the case. Twin cylinder has got 3 bearings and 3 seals. One is in between the throws of the crank. So that means sending it off to somebody. That means sending your pride and joy off to somebody you don't know. And that's where the trouble comes in. And that's why I did a single cylinder. So I didn't have to trust somebody that I don't know, because I've met an awful lot of people who aren't worth my trust. That said, I am going to do a twin cylinder next. But let's get back to the RS125. Okay, so we have, let's walk you through it. I've shown you a picture of what it started off with. Here is the exhaust. It is an expansion type exhaust. This came from Allspeed. Gibson exhausts in the UK, which is, I don't know quite why, but this company's got about 3 names. It's called Gibson, Allspeed, and it's also called Stink Wheels. I'm not sure why, but if you tap those 3 words into Google, you'll get a lovely website that will take you to the people who supplied this lovely mild steel exhaust. This has got no finish on it whatsoever. Not painted, not powder coated, not clear coated, not ceramic coated. Just bare polished steel. And I just polish it regularly. And that expansion chamber helps with the 2-stroke power, basically. Maybe I'll explain it later on, maybe not. I run a bell mouth rather than a filter, because I just, I'm on a track that's not got a heck of a lot of dust on it, and the bike's just not in harsh conditions. It's in ideal conditions, and it doesn't really matter about sucking a bit of crap in. Okay, what else have we got? We've got what are called Barani style rims. These are also affectionately called shit catchers. Reason being, let's see if I can find, it's difficult on this because I look after the bike, but they are sort of W section in that they go up and down, down, up, and they collect crap in there. These were laced up for me by Spoke Wheel Services in Gidgee Canup by a chap called Budgie, who's legendary over here. Wonderful chap, who also did my same style of wheels, because I love them, on my Z900, my 1976 Z900 A4. So very happy with that. The tank, some people have asked me what it's from. It's a cheap Chinese RD50 copy. So this will come labelled up in eBay with all sorts of names. I won't put a link to it because there are hundreds of people selling the same kind of tank in China or India. I can't even remember why. This was a couple of years ago. So I bought a super cheap tank and then put a nice cap on it. The cap is a Monza style cap, and this came from, I can't undo it. Anyway, you buy the neck. The bottom bit's threaded, so you weld the bottom bit in and then you screw the top on. I hope that makes sense. Put that back there. And that came from Rogue Motorcycles in Perth, who are excellent local suppliers. Thank you to them for keeping me in parts. So, yes, so we've got cheap Chinese tank with a slightly more expensive cap on it. We have what's that now? A Yamaha TA125 holder pull at the back to hold the back of the tank down. That came from, let me think, Mead Speed. That came from Mead Speed, and I thought that makes it look a bit more racy. I think that may be a delivery. It was a delivery. Here it is. That was a huge 3-meter awning, which will go on the side of my new van, which I will show you in a minute. I sold the boat. That is the big sailing boat. Let me just turn around so you're not looking at a light. That's better. I sold my big sailing boat. And I sold my larger inflatable boat. I've still got the world's tiniest one, and a little sort of whippersnipper outboard. I've got that. I'm going to see if we can get some more use out of that this summer, which is on its way. Let me introduce you to, hopefully, I think we've sorted it. Have we had enough of the Yamaha? We just finish it off. Hey, let's just finish it off before we go. Okay. Yamaha TA125 replica seat from Mead Speed, and Yamaha TA and TZ style fairing from Motor Forza in the Czech Republic. Very happy with their price, their delivery, and the quality of their fairing. It's lovely. It really is fabulous, this fairing is. Very happy with it. And it fits this bike really well. It's slightly larger than the fairing that I had fitted to this. It's up there on the shelf. And it's not a complaint, but this fairing, you can see, has got 2 bulges underneath, and that's for 2 exhausts. But I'm a single cylinder, so I've got 1 exhaust. So I really only needed a single bulge. But look, these single cylinders, the RS125 was never designed to race, and it's not that fast. I enjoy racing it. Here's a picture of me racing it. Bring, there's the picture. But hey, it's just a fast parade. It's not a race. I enjoy it immensely, and that's what's coming next. Now, this is the Yamaha YR3, which is the grandfather of the RD. So this is a 1969 Yamaha 2-stroke twin, which for anyone born at my age would say, oh, it's like the LC. Well, before the LC was the DX. And that's both RDs, so the RD 350. So there's the RD350LC, the RD350DX. Before that, we had something called the R5. And before that, we have something here called the R3. The motor of which, that motor there, was tuned and tuned and tuned to form the basis of the Yamaha TR2 racing bike. I don't know if the frame was the same or the frame was strengthened or something like that. It got a much bigger front brake. Now you can see that this thing's relatively complete and fairly nice. So when I got this for a song, I got it fairly cheap. I really wasn't looking for something like this. It was just too cheap to pass up. So I got it and thought, yeah, okay, well, I'll do it. I'm actually advertised this for sale, but it won't sell. I know it won't. Nobody's got any money. But it's for sale at a modest profit, a really modest profit. But I'm not going to destroy this to make a race bike. That's not going to happen. It's too complete. It's already been semi-restored. I've got to go over it again, but it's, you know, it's been semi-restored. Someone's put a lot of time collecting parts, and I've got lots more parts. But I did want a slightly bigger, because my 125, hopefully I will grow out of fairly soon. I wanted a slightly faster race bike. Enter the Suzuki T350. This bike was, well, not a heck of a lot of bike. Front wheel, back wheel, frame, engine. The tank that came with it, I'll just run over and show you that. The tank that came on it was a little, I think it was off a T250 or something like that. So it wasn't the right tank, and I wanted to build a race bike anyway, so it didn't really matter about what the tank was. So I had this tank on the shelf. It had come with a couple of bikes that I'd got a couple of years ago. So I have bought this out the shed and put it on, and it fits fairly well. I'm pretty happy with it. This is going to become a TR500 style racer, okay? In very much the same way that my RS125 is in the style of the TA125, which is a very successful racer. This bike isn't. It just looks like one. This bike here is not the same as Barry Sheen's TR500, which is just stunning. This is smaller and this is less racy. That said, this bike was the fastest production 350 available at the time. So this 350, the Suzuki T350, was faster than the YR3 Yamaha two-stroke twin 350. So this is going to become the race bike. And all these bikes, you can see that they're just missing. It's just got this huge gap here. Look at that. You know, what are we going to do there? Most of them have a strengthening tube that goes from there to there, and the TR has a bent one. I shall be putting a bent frame tube in there and welding it on purely for aesthetics. Purely, I'm just going to touch the front screen so I can see myself. Purely so it looks like Barry Sheen's racer. The straight tube would offer more rigidity, but I'm not that fast. It's not slowing me down. And that's one of the mantras that I have to keep thinking about when I am racing. What's slowing you down? Is it the fact that you haven't got tyre warmers? Possibly. Or is it the fact that you lack skill? Definitely. So, the fact that my frame might flex a bit more just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter at all. I'm going to make this thing look like Barry Sheen's bike, and I'm going to be very happy with it. I've got a couple of parts coming from America, from a lovely chap, Hugh. Hugh sent me some parts from America, which is lovely. I've got a lot of work to do on this bike, as is obvious, but no more than I've already done on this bike. I had some help with this bike. I had some help from a really skilled chap called Brendan Flowers. I intend to do this bike a lot more by myself, a lot more, and with the help of another chap called Luke Barker, who will be doing my machining and some fabricating and the stuff that I can't do, stuff that I'm just not talented enough to do. I'll get some help with, or that I don't have the machinery to do. So that's those two. Oh, okay, let's go and have a look at this little Lambretta, this little 1957 Lambretta. Last time you saw this, the wheels were getting polished, and they're still shining. This doesn't run because last time you saw this, it was lacking a piston, cylinder and head. It isn't now. I have found, or I can't do this with one hand. Okay, you'll just have to believe me. In that box there is a complete engine and transmission unit. Okay, I shall be pulling the cylinder head, piston and barrel off of that complete works, putting them onto that, and then that transmission will be then tuned and be uprated for a far faster version without me having to butcher it. So I shall still have the original matching numbers unbutchered engine in that Lambretta, and then I shall have that donkey there to really go to town on and make as fast as I possibly can. Suzuki PE400. Where have the parts gone? Here we go. Parts arrived for it yesterday. Oh, don't lose them, Lozz. Right, seals, crank seals, and in there, crank bearings from the wonderful Motoduro and Scott's team. I keep seeing people asking on various forums, oh, should I buy from Motoduro? Yes, you should. Absolutely, you should. They're wonderful. And if there is a problem with anything at Motoduro, I assure you it is either unavoidable or out of their hands. They're a wonderful company to deal with and will always sort you out, particularly if you're pleasant to them, if you're not rude. So, touching the back screen there. Okay, so the Suzuki basically have enough parts to now finish. By the time the bearings and seals go on the end of that crank down inside there, I've got a new piston and barrel for it. Oh, I say finished, not finished. The shocks. I had a nightmare with, what were the shocks? Those air shocks, the Fox shocks, the Fox copy ones. What were they called now? I was gutted. I was really looking forward to getting these shocks. Paid for them and everything, right up until the very last minute, and the chap said, oh, here's a design drawing just to check that they fit your bike. I was like, hang on, you've advertised them as fitting my bike. Do they fit my bike or not? Well, if you could just make sure. No, if you could make sure you've advertised them for fitting my bike, you must have sold 1,000 of them to people who own PE 400s. Have you never thought to ask any of them if your shock actually fits the bike or not that you advertise it for? Don't leave me to make this guess or, take this chance. It's coming all the way from the States. What was it now? Vintco. That's it, Vintco. I'm sorry, Vintco. I don't for a second think you're going to be watching this, but Vintco couldn't tell me whether their shocks fitted my bike or not. I understand that they probably do, but guess what? Before I buy something and have it shipped from America, I want to know. And I believe that it's the seller's job to tell me. Not for me to go out there with the micrometer and start measuring my bike and what have you. You get a bike, you check that it fits, and then if you found that it does, you advertise it as suitable for fitting my bike. Or don't, it's up to you. But I bought shocks that were advertised for fitting as my bike, and then the seller asked me that seller told me that he can't be sure they fit. Cancelled the order. Then it took me over a month to get my money back because of PayPal and all sorts of nonsense. It was a right balls up. Vintco, not good enough. Really not good enough. Just in general. So there you go. So if you've got Vintco shocks fitted to your Suzuki PE 400. Congratulations, you took a risk and that risk paid off. I'm not about to. Not to have it sent all the way from America to Australia. It's too much of a gamble. It's too much of a gamble. If it didn't pay off, I don't think anyone would have been particularly interested. So no, I need some of the risk taking out of my full price purchases. Little Honda, 1968 Honda PS50 is stalled. I'm still waiting for my clutch cover. I have a chap who's just been really, really nice to me called Frederick. I don't know how to pronounce Frederick's second name. I'm going to guess at Plashart. Frederick is in Belgium and is helping me find some parts for it. He's been the most patient chap I've ever met for a stranger. We're not talking about a guy who's family. It's not a guy that I've taken a bullet for who's being patient with me. Complete stranger who is being very patient and very understanding with me. And Frederick, if you are watching this, I really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll get this bike sorted. And if we can, I'm going to call it Fred. If we can get my bike sorted, it'll be mainly down to your patience, because I can't get a clutch cover from anywhere else. And like I say, you've been very patient with me. I'm going to call my bike Fred. If you can help me out, well, you already have helped me out, Fred. So I appreciate that. That is almost it. So, yep, new Yamaha R3, PE 400 PS. Z9, not touched it at all. Not done anything to it. The GSXR 750 is missing the indicators because I took it to a track, and here's a picture of me at the track with the GSXR and my RS125 before I put the fairing on it. And oh, of course, there's my little scrutineering type sticker. I just enjoyed riding the 125 more than the 750 because that was a lot nearer my skill set. I wasn't really doing the 750 much justice. I'm just not that skilled yet. So that's going to get the lights and things put back on it. Next year I will be going to the track on this and competing in a season while I prepare that probably for the following year. The BMW G650 GS has been picking up some mud. Look at that. With me and the buddies. Actually, let's put a picture of me and the guys. Here they are. Here we are. Out scrambling across red dirt roads, and I shall be hooking my trailer up to there as soon as poss, and doing you some more video. God, there are the lights behind me. I've got some more lights in the shed, by the way. Not quite as bright and just a bit better for working in. So yeah, I shall hook up the trailer to that and take some more video of that. Just going to nip outside. I'm going to show you what I swapped / traded the boat for. Basically, my wife very, very reasonably said, get rid of that boat and I'll buy you a van. I was like, okay, yeah, bubba. So let's go outside and I'll show you the van. I'm very pleased with it. This is going to be my race van. So what should we have? Team Lemon Racing? Team Banana Racing. I thought about doing one about little Velvet Underground bananas on it, Andy Warhol style. So yeah, so that's my van that I can go racing in. I won't be dragging the bikes inside it. They will go outside on a little trailer that I've made that I'll show you next. This is to keep me comfortable when I'm at the races. Last time I went, I slept in a tent on the ground, woke up in the morning. I mean, first of all, I drank too much beer, as you would do the day before racing, so that you can wake up with a hangover. And then I slept on the floor. So I really was not making the best of the opportunities that I'd really cost me quite a bit to go and enjoy. So, nice van, good night's sleep once I've put the bed in there, and less drink obviously will help my racing. I'm going to show you the trailer that I made. It's quite cool. So here is my tiny little trailer. The bike's pretty small, and in fact, well, you've seen it, the RS125 is pretty small, and I just didn't want a huge trailer, didn't need a huge trailer for taking a tiny bike. This will cope with it easy. Now, let me show you. Again, I'm doing this one-handed, so maybe this won't work. Maybe it will. Let's undo that. Oh, let's undo that. And oh yes, it is working okay. So I don't need ramps. Dun dun dun. How cool is that? So yeah, I should just push my 125 up and then lock it up. There we go. So my no ramps trailer, and that'll be towed behind my van. So that's it. You're up to speed with where I am. In terms of the future, we're going to be doing a lot more outside stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot less, showing you how to fix stuff. Not that I'm fixing less, I'm going to be working constantly, but it's not going to be joined up, so to speak, in terms of me going, oh, this is how you do this and this is how you do that. It's just going to be whatever job I happen to be doing in the workshop. If that interests you, thanks for tuning in anyway, and thanks for subscribing anyway. But if it does interest you, please subscribe and get in touch as well if there's something that you want, you know, if you want to see more of. If you say, Lozz, that's boring me, I presume that you will have just switched off by now and gone, what's he going on about? Or alternatively, you'll still be here and you'll be thinking, maybe you'll be thinking, I wish you'd do this, or I wish you'd do that. Get in touch. I've still got the equipment, still got the channel, still got the time. Let me know what you want to see, or I'll guess it, but I might get it wrong. Okay? Take care, and I'll see you next time. And it's on. Oh yeah, it is on. 3 meters long. Dun, 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 dun. So, park my van in the pits, build my bike underneath it. Well, not build it, but just sit there chilling because I built it on a Thursday. Right, ta-ta.